good afternoon. It's Max McAllister from Traxxion Dynamics. We're hanging around the service department here for a moment. We've got another ride review for 2018 Goldwing that I wanted to read with you, and I thought this was significant because there's a lot of commentary from this rider's wife. So much as in NASCAR, half the fans are women. On Honda Goldwings, let's face it, lots of half the people that ride Goldwings are the wife on the back as a passenger. So, and those women, you know, most of them ride every mile that the husband does. So they're very familiar with how the bike feels, and they're very intimate with the ride quality and the comfort it provides. So anyway, I wanted to read this. So many of you know who Fred Harmon is, by the way. Fred is has a series of do-it-yourself DVDs that from the previous edition bike, and he's a super knowledgeable Goldwing enthusiast. Does all kinds of mechanical work and such, and he's also an installer for Traxxion Dynamic shocks. And anyway, so Fred had done this installation for one of his customers. And so this email was actually to Fred, and we got permission to read it here. So it says, "Good morning, Fred. Just wanted to give you an update on the new Traxxion suspension. We took a trip to West Texas, to Abilene, to Kerrville, and Fredericksburg this past weekend. It was 810 miles. This was two up with my wife, and we rode with two of my buddies and their wives. I love the difference in the handling of the bike. It definitely feels more planted and smooth to the road. I felt no front or rear wheel bouncing. I had the bike packed for the 3-day weekend and had the setting on rider and passenger only. The difference in the suspension setting is quite a change. The stock suspension felt too soft and springy. Put it to the test for about a 20-mile hard run on an unbusy Texas back road going into Hamilton. With my passenger, which by the way, she loves this type of riding, I was up to 100 miles an hour and averaging 75, and the bike handled flawlessly. Coming into the corners, it tracked like it was on rails, and again, there was no bouncing. It was nice and firm, and it was very responsive. The suspension responded perfectly to hard braking and trail braking into the turns. My wife loved the smoothness as well, and she was accustomed to our 2012 Honda Goldwing with Traxxion Dynamics suspension." And he goes on to comment about the seat. He was asking questions about the saddle. They feel like the saddle is too hard and such. But anyway, once again, thanks Fred. A nice install from the pro, and that was from Mr. Rodney T, we shall call him. So anyway, it's important, of course, that the ride quality is comfortable for the passenger. And infamously, the shock on the previous model bike was harsh to the passengers. And you know, we opened up one of the new bikes. It's all the same guts inside as the same bike they've had for the previous years. So the internal piston design, I've got another video on YouTube you can look at where I show you the two different pistons, one that comes in a stock shock and one that comes in an aftermarket shock that we make here, and the difference in how they work in their design. But you know, the passenger is sitting back out over the rear wheel, so much more of the shock from sharp bumps to the rear wheel is transmitted to the passenger much more than to the driver, who's in the center of the bike over the center of the mass of the bike. So passengers' feedback is really important. So and we wanted to read this review to you from one of those riders, from one of those co-riders. So anyway, thanks for listening. We'll have more videos coming soon. Please share with your friends and like our channel. We have over 1,000 subscribers now. And so anyway, thanks a lot.